Hello and welcome to another game of StarLadder Season 6, day number 16, I think, even though I'm not really convinced anymore. We have
17.
got 17, there you have it, it is day number 17. We have got ourselves a game between virtus.pro and 4FC, and for this we have got a 3-man cast for you to make sure you get all the information that you need, although one of those one person, you won't hear nor see. It is K-poptosis who will provide you with the stats. We will also have, of course, Kanaz, my co-caster, that you will hear with me for the broadcast. Kanaz, welcome back.
Happy to be here.
Me too. And also, of course, for all the people that were able to jump themselves back, sorry that you only were able to see a 12-minute and 16-minute game in the hour that you were not watching StarLadder, but I'm kind of happy that you don't have to miss this one, because I'm kind of expecting a good game before this. I mean, 4FC, we've seen them in the previous game, they weren't really doing that well, but we know that they can do well, and I'm really curious to see how they live up to a virtus.pro, as virtus.pro has only dropped one game so far in StarLadder. And 4FC now dropped 2, but they can't really drop them anymore. If they still want to have a chance to go to Kiev, you can only basically drop maybe 4 and then still hope that you can make it through. But, you know, sitting at 2, that's at least solid. But they shouldn't drop more.
Yeah, I mean, every team wants to be able to go to Kiev. Who knows if they'll actually even be able to go if they qualify. They're not like the... Are they actually even sponsored?
They are not sponsored. They are actually 5 friends, basically.
Well, 4 friends. Making fun of Krilly, I guess. Yeah, even if they manage to make it, who knows if they'd be able to go. We've had that problem in the past, and I guess that's why most of the American teams don't participate anymore.
They are not allowed to.
Yeah, because they just kept canceling if they made it to Kiev, because they just couldn't go.
Exactly.
So, who knows, but we are going to get underway with the draft.
Yeah, and we already see virtus.pro being very targeted up against 4FC. They banned out the Kunkka. We know that Strengby likes to play it. He has played it most of the StarLadder games actually already, as we saw him playing that in the previous game as well. So they'll be first to go something else, and they actually pick up a Weaver here. But because the Kunkka got banned out and the Gyrocopter there as well, we see a lot of heroes in the pool that normally get banned out. So we see a Bedrider making it through. That was the first pickup of this game. 4FC managed to pick that up, and of course the Lifestealer is still in the pool for virtus.pro. They picked that up together with the Nature's Prophet. And the Nyx Assassin as the last pickup for virtus.pro, with the support also picked up by 4FC. It is the Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, draft going pretty quick here. 4FC used some of their reserve time, but looking like a pretty highly powered draft, sort of, with the teams heroes that made it through: Lifestealer, Batrider, Nyx Assassin, Keeper of the Light. All kind of top picks, and none of them getting banned out in this particular game.
Yeah, we have got an offlane ban out for virtus.pro. They're maybe expecting the Weaver to be on the safe lane, or at least having some supports with him with the Clockwork ban. And of course, I mean, Clockwork can be used in various situations, and you just don't want to have that up when you have your Lifestealer, because Cog's still a very annoying thing to deal with as a Lifestealer, for now, of course, as that will change in the next patch with the Shadow Demon, a solid support that they don't want to be dealing with. Of course, Shakushi going through a soul caught target rather. We've got a lot of mid heroes getting banned up at 4FC. They ban out the Puck, the TA, and the Storm, leaving the Queen of Pain in the pool. And with 4FC having the first pickup, I wouldn't be surprised to see him picked up here right now.
Yeah, Queen of Pain is left in the pool. If they're planning on offlaning the Weaver, they're not really looking for a mid, because they'll send Batrider to that lane, and then they're looking for a different carry. So it's just up to 4FC how they want to run the Weaver to really see the rest of the draft. It's just possible they just pick up a support here and they don't commit to anything until they see VP's 4th pick. Bane's still in the pool. I mean, yeah, still in the pool, and is a support that we usually see picked up against Lifestealer, just because he has both Enfeeble and Fiend's Grip that go through those rage effects to try and shut down what the Lifestealer is doing in the fight. And pairs up pretty decently with Keeper of the Light as well. You can sleep him and then channel that Illuminate through to do some big damage. So it's possible 4FC could go for that hero here, or they could just pick up something for like a mid or an offlane role, like the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, they're taking the time for sure. We still, of course, have the Magnus in the pool as well, so yeah, plenty of options, but they do need to go for something soon. And virtus.pro, they haven't used any time of their bonus time just yet, meaning that if they don't use it right now either, 4FC is going to have a lot less time than virtus.pro in theory had to think about what they want to do. And now the Rubik pickup by 4FC, should there be a Magnus, at least there will be the possibility to steal that RP, but they go for the Queen of Pain in the end. Of course, one of the stronger mid-heroes that wasn't banned out just yet, and now 4FC are kind of forced to put that Bat Rider in the mid lane. Bat Rider versus Queen of Pain should be able to at least hold his own and maybe even win the lane if he gets some good stacks up on that with the sticky napalm. Leaves a trial lane with a Keeper of Light and a Rubik and something else. Could be the Weaver, but Weaver could also be in a solo lane and didn't just having something else as a carry still as his last one. So this last pick will determine their lanes as well as, of course, completing their draft, because they only got 4 seconds left. There we go, and that shouts safe lane Alchemist.
Well, they could safe lane the Alchemist. They could also run Alchemist mid with a Bat Rider off lane and tri lane the Weaver very easily. So we'll see what 4FC end up wanting to go with, and the Skywrath Mage support the last pick from VP, so not really too surprising. We've seen a lot of teams sort of trying him out recently in that role.
Yeah, especially
is
up against
picking
the
up
Weaver.
the Weaver, so it looks like we are going to have off-lane Weaver, safe-lane Alchemist.
Yeah, and of course that Skywrath Mage, very strong against the Weaver. We've seen him mostly picked up against that one. I mean, Weaver wants to be able to time-lapse, of course, if he takes that burst damage. Time-lapse is his savior, but Skywrath Mage can just prevent him from doing so. And a lot of control in the team of virtus.pro. They don't only have that silence, but they also have got the impale that could hit a lot of people at the same time, of course, from that Nyx assassin. They've got the rage to avoid control caught out by or done by 4FC. As a VP has had a 2-0 victory streak right now up against 4FC. So 4FC looking to, of course, change that, but we'll see how much they can do here. They do, of course, have that Bat Rider that can have that lasso to go through the rage of the Lifestealer. But early game, the Bat Rider is basically the only thing that they really have. And for 4FC, Krilly will indeed be playing the Bat Rider, and I say indeed, but they actually swapped. So Bat Rider will be in the jungle / off lane most likely. Blomberg will be on the Weaver, so that means that the Weaver will probably be mid, and he actually got pulled and tangos and a salve, so we'll be having a very fast bottle if he wants that. Boomski will be on the Rubik, playing the support there. On the bottom lane we have got Iconoclast, the one that pulled the Weaver, his regen, and Matrim, of course, otherwise known as. And we'll be supporting Strangby, who is now Carl Phillip, and is still Strangby, of course. He'll be playing the Alchemist this game. And yeah, that's the Radiant side. And of course you can vote who you think will win virtus.pro, ! Vote VP, or 4FC, ! Vote 4FC.
Yeah, and I'll go over VP's heroes. So we're going to have Illidan up in the top lane playing the Lifestealer. Jan, who's Arsart, Smile, playing the Nyx Assassin, looking to be up there with him. NS, going to be on the Skywrath Mage, he'll be in the tri lane as well. Mid lane will be Tame My Well on the Queen of Pain. And finally, off lane is going to be KSI on the Nature's Prophet. And probably expecting Nature's Prophet to end up leaving this lane, since he will be running into the tri lane.
Yeah, of course, I mean, they can't really kill him probably unless there's going to be some solid harass coming up from those Illuminates. So it's probably an easier lane than a tri-lane, even though, well, the tri-lane actually will still be there. Boomski should probably rotate, as we already see Blomberg going for some harassment here. A Weaver up against a Queen of Pain is actually a fairly decent matchup for the start of the game, because you either force your opponent team to at least carry Dust or something like that, but of course that doesn't work if NS actually, he didn't skill anything just yet, so we don't know yet if he is going to be going for the Ancient Steel or will be going for Concussive Shot, and that will make a change for how aggressive they want to be up against this mid lane. But for now, Blomberg will be able to just do his thing, survive, and not really need anybody else.
Yeah, and Blomberg, we're going to see Tame My Wild do a lot of trying to bait the Shikuchi out of Blomberg here, because you can't actually land Shadow Strike if he goes invisible before it hits. So anytime you see the Queen of Pain spinning in a circle, it's because he's trying to just bait out the Shikuchi so he can get the dagger immediately afterwards. And Blomberg gonna have to be like moderately careful. He doesn't really want to take the harass from the dagger if he can prevent it.
Yeah, he does have the bottle now, so that will help a lot, as the courier just came in, a walking courier. They were very careful with that, just to prevent any type of snipe, even though nobody's really attempting to. But with the Queen of Pain, you can never be too sure. We already have the Nature's Prophet going into that dire jungle, just like we have the Bed Rider stacking and pulling, or stacking rather, alone in his jungle. Trying to create the biggest creep stack we've ever seen. We'll see how successful he is with that. Of course, in theory, Krillly should be farming faster than the Nature's Prophet in the jungle, as we do have our first gank here. Sentry Ward got already placed. And Concussive Shot was the first one. Look at the harassment up on Tamer Wild, though. Blumberg able to throw some harassment back, and that was a gank that didn't really go as intended. And next gank they probably won't be able to do until NS is level 2 and has got that Ancient Seal.
Yeah, and it looks like NS having a very good win rate thus far with Skywrath Mage. What's VP's record in StarLadder right now?
They are 9-1. They have only dropped one a game.
Yeah,
which was up against Alliance, I believe.
So not really that surprising that he would have a high win rate with the hero, since they are just doing particularly well in the tournament thus far. And so that gank, not really surprising that it didn't succeed in the Weavers. Weaver's kind of resilient, and we see Tamer Wild didn't have any points in Scream of Pain at that point, so they didn't really have the burst damage to bring down Blomberg on this Weaver. He's bottle crowing as well now. So things going pretty okay for him in this mid lane. Tamer Wild has to be a little bit careful. She's got a bottle of her own to try and trade blows, but Blumberg getting the best of last hits at the moment, and not really that surprisingly.
Yeah, it's only by one difference, so Tamer Wild definitely not out of this this lane just yet. We do have the counter Sentry Ward already placed by Blumberg, so now without the this Ancient Seal from NS, they won't be able to do anything. But he did manage to get level 2. So he doesn't have that right now. There's no wards up on the top side of the map for 4FC. So that's of course counter warded. So any type of gank can just surprise Blumberg altogether. So he has to really watch out for how many people he sees on the top lane, or just be wary of an incoming gank at any given moment, because there's nothing that gives it away. Basically, this middle lane is the only place where people really meet each other. So it's the only place that a gank will come, most likely. As the rest of the supports are just doing their thing in the jungle. Just trying to stack and pull and stack and pull, with actually a lot of stacking going on here for Boomski. He's all preparing that, of course, for that Bed Rider, who will, with that, and of course the stacks that he has taken on his own, he'll have his Blink Dagger as good as done.
Yeah, and there's actually no words on the map anywhere right now for either team. So kind of a passive start. Neither team setting up the wards. VP don't really have to worry about 4FC trying to roam heavily, because Keeper Light just really not a great roamer. He's not really powerful for ganking mid lane. They have only the one disable in the form of the telekinesis from Rubik, so that's not really a good way to get a kill on a hero like Queen of Pain, so they're not really worried about that. And on the other side, Weaver is just kind of survivable, and until Nyx gets a higher level and can really get in range for the stun, they're not really going to be able to shut him down either.
Yeah, and 80 to 20% favoring virtus.pro in this matchup. Not really surprising, but it's not entirely out of the park for 4FC. So, I mean, virtus.pro, they look solid. They look solid on paper. In theory, they should be able to win this, obviously, as actually the farm is not reserved for the Bed Rider, but will be taken by the support, so they'll get some extra levels from that. But yeah, 4FC, they are fighting an uphill battle, as we do have a gank coming up. There's a smoke up on the Nyx Assassin. He does have that impale. There's the silence, but the Shikushi was first. Nice reaction time from Blumberg, also meaning that NS is going to be going back towards the top lane, most likely. Another failed gank coming off from virtus.pro. And of course, this is wasted time for the supports. They can't stack right now, they can't farm right now, they can't pull, and they are actually taking some experience away from the Queen of Pain. Blumberg, though, he is now a bit of levels behind Tamer Wild. Tamer Wild actually half a level ahead with 11 denies. No surprise there, as Weaver hasn't got any denies for himself. He's 22 for 1, and Tamer Wild, with the levels that he gets, he is 33 for 11. So managed to get ahead on this lane very very easily with levels in the end.
Yeah, now that he's starting to get a little bit further ahead, Blumberg has to be more careful. Early on, the dagger harass is not super effective against Weaver, because he can just go invisible to dodge the daggers, but now she's getting points in the Scream of Pain. She has a point in Sonic Wave as well. Blumberg has to be a little bit more aware of that. And there's also supports moving in from time to time, so Blumberg has to be a little bit wary because of that. Whereas his supports, they really can't roam in on the Screen of Pain, so she's able to play a little bit more confidently in the lane.
Yeah, and talking about supports, there is still level 3s up on both of the supports up on virtus.pro. Well, on 4FC, they're level 4. We've got Keeper of Light on level 4, and the Rubik, I believe, who has now just warded again, is level 3 actually still, by the way. So a slight level advantage for virtus.pro. And I guess we can call the reason for that the second that they were able to do. As of course, KSI continuously farming. He is now level 6. Bedrider level 6 as well, not yet having his Blink Dagger, rather went for Tranquil Boot still to just allow himself to be a bit more sustainable in the jungle by himself. Also means that we're still not going to be seeing that much aggression coming off from 4FC though. At the same time, I'm thinking virtus.pro is almost ready to try and go for a bit more aggression. They do have that team about picking up a Sonic Wave, and they still, of course, want to pick up Blomberg here in this mid lane, even though now he has time lapse, so the amount of burst has to really be enough to get the kills going. Oh, they still want to go! Blink or not, Tamar Wild, Telekinesis was there on the first, not on the board. 4FC the ones to go for it. Nicely done by 4FC. And in the meantime, Skyred Mage denying the bottom tower. NS making sure that Strangby doesn't get that extra gold. Still gets a stun thrown at him. But the tower in the end is still going down, so a bit more map control going the way of 4FC.
Yeah, and we actually see both sides, the carries pick up a Midas at this point, so we will have Midas Lifestealer going up against Midas Alchemist. Alchemist obviously going to get the best of farm as time goes on. Lifestealer a little bit of an advantage now just because he got the last hit in the tower, whereas NS was able to deny the tower from Stringby, so doing a little bit of work there just to keep their carry in the lead for at least the time being. We'll see how long Lifestealer can sort of keep up, but eventually Greevil's Greed is kind of insurmountable when it comes to just free farming.
Yeah, but, Ironman is going to take the Ancients from the Radiant team, though. Very cocky of him. And I mean, with denying these to 4FC is actually a pretty good job, but he's being scouted out. The ward was there, obviously, so Arsart is going to be harassed away from the Ancients. But still, he did take down one of the mini ones, so a bit of extra gold going his way that won't go to 4FC. Always nice to have that, as Kanaz waiting for another stack. Level 5 right now. In terms of levels, of course, Strangby level 8. I believe he had his Midas a bit earlier than Lifestealer, but level 8 still fairly nice. And level 9 actually up on the Lifestealer. 73 for 5, with Strangby sitting on 65 to 15. So Lifestealer all in all ahead. In terms of net worth though, I mean, you already mentioned it, that Greevil's Greed puts Strangby ahead in net worth compared to the Lifestealer, as we do have 4 people gathering in the mid lane for 4FC. Of course, one of those is going to continue farming. But 3 of those might be trying to get something. Boomski hanging around, level 4. Telekinesis there. We could award a lasso again for the Bedrider if they can get it again.
Yeah, they pretty much need to use the lasso if they want to try and set up the kill in that melee and the Queen of Pain. They just don't really have enough disable otherwise. And that's the sort of thing that might come back to bite them as the game goes on. One of their key stuns is Alchemist, and he doesn't really have a great mana pool. The regen does help from the Chemical Rage for him to use it multiple times in the fight. But he can get kited from that and then end up stunning himself. And until we get to like really big team fights where they're just standing around hitting each other for a long time, it's not the easiest to really use. So we'll see how that ends up working out for him. He actually chose to max that over Greevil's Greed, which is somewhat surprising considering he's completely soloed on here and clearly in some trouble.
Yeah, wants to go for, well, wants to go for Ancients, finds Tamar Wild, and he actually gets a double kill there. Gets a stun in the face, looks like Stramby can be cleaning this up. Oh,
Neutral.
Killed by a neutral. Getting a double kill and then getting killed by neutral. Ultimate punishment for 4FC. And first time that he actually leaves his lane to go for a kill, finds himself a support in the jungle together with a farming Bedrider, meaning that he wasn't on totally full HP when he started there, I believe. Wasn't even able to get his last 2 off, just try to fly away, couldn't get it done. But nicely set up. And actually, we see Strangby picking up a Shadow Blade. So now, all of a sudden, the Unstable Concoction makes a lot more sense, because it basically means that he is already planning on being involved in those fights, rather than sitting on the lane and farming more and more.
Yeah, he can certainly try and get involved. And Stringby doing pretty okay, it looks like, on Alchemist's farm. Of course, we don't really see the Alchemist get complete lane free farm. No one even like approaching that lane for the first 10 minutes, realistically. So that's why he's got pretty high last hit score right now. Only a little bit ahead though of Lifestealer. He finishes his armlet now, which gets him pretty survivable in damage that he can deal.
Yeah, also him
As
looking
well.
ready for joining the fights, I would say.
Yeah, so we might start seeing these engagements, and it's kind of feeling like it probably favors VP right now just because Queen of Pain is a little bit more powerful in these fights than the Weaver really is at this point in the game. Weaver's picked up a medallion, which does increase the physical damage you can do, and with that acid spray, it's a lot of minus armor you can put on one target, so maybe they'll be able to focus down heroes like Queen of Pain if they blink a little bit too aggressively forward and just sort of physical burst them down. We'll end up seeing it'll come down to positioning, as it often does in Dota.
It's all about that decision making, and we are going to be seeing our start infested with the life stealer. So Airman sitting inside this Nyx assassin, and they're going to look for the alchemist. Should be able to take him down very easily. Sentry ward goes down, actually no escape. Mystic flare dropped down on top of that one, and Airman takes the gold. KSI coming in, but I don't even think he had an assist for that one. Just came in to help just in case. And now with 4 people here on this bottom lane and nobody here of 4FC, they should be taking a very secure tower. Oh, but 4FC want to defend.
Yeah, 4FC making their way down, so they're going to try and contest this tower. It's going to take some damage, and there's not a ton they can do about short of using Glyph, and they haven't done so thus far. VP know what's going on, though. They have that ward in the middle of the range jungle. They see them coming, so they're going to back off with it and just be content to do like half the damage to that tier 1 tower after getting the free kill on Alchemist.
Yeah, we do have Krilly finishing up his Blink Dagger, so that might change the pace a bit for 4FC here as a sentry ward gets placed. Is it in range? I don't think so. Of the other sentry ward. Maybe not. We'll see if Krilly finds it.
They're just out of range of each other.
Yeah, oh, there we go. Well, oh, and they're still sitting around here. And as the 2 supports, and they don't see Krilly. Now they see he blinks away just in time after he fireflies. He was just buying something. He was just buying his Blink Dagger, just sitting there happily. And of course the supports, they saw that they have got this ward, so they were able to know where everybody was. Krilly has to still be careful though, because Nyx Assassin, Arstar's still here with the Impale. Hits as well. Nature's Prophet TPing in, Mystic Flare being there as well, and that's a quick pickup. Krilly thinking that they were back already, but no such luck.
Yeah, and realistically, Krilly escaped from that. He blinked out immediately because he saw Arsart use the Vendetta over in the forest, because you can see that animation through fog. And so he knew that Vendetta was used by Nyx Assassin. That was probably a sign for him to just back off. He knows that Nyx was around visible, but maybe just thought he was leaving. He's like, yeah, Nyx, he sees I'm here, yeah, I blinked there. He probably just backed off. And ends up just feeding a kill to VP as a result.
Yeah, as 4FC take down the Queen of Pain. The Sonic Wave was used, but as was a time lapse just straight after that burst, and already a stunner charged up by Strangby. He was able to really kill secure that one, because otherwise Queen of Pain would have still gone down to that bug, I believe. Let's see if 4FC can take a tower in return for this one. Of course, the tower so far, after not getting the bottom tower for virtus.pro, even apart from the fact that the bottom tower on the side of virtus.pro got denied, while the top tower on the side of 4FC got killed off by Airman, who's now killing off the Keeper of the Light. The Lasso is still going to be there though, but too late to save a support. Boomski running himself away, will get picked up. That's another kill for Airmen with a double kill. Can they find more? Krilly taking a lot of damage. Already Lasso on cooldown. The Flames might still pick off KSI, and they do indeed, and another support goes down in the Flames with 2-on-2. The kill score is even for this fight, and they chase down Illidan. They find themselves Tame My Wild though, and he still has a pretty full mana bar, as there is a kill for the Nyx Assassin. Gets a kill up on the carry. Strangby and Blumberg, the last one here alive, should be able to get himself away with the Shakushi. There will still be Tame My Wild chasing him down though. The bottle is not going to be enough. He has a TP, just has to find a place to use it in. And the question is, will he get that? Yeah, he should be able to get away. But in the end, Alchemist goes down and Lifestealer doesn't, and Lifestealer gets a double kill right now from that.
Yeah, that armlet toggling a little too strong. They don't really have the burst to take him down. They were relying on basically right clicks from both the Weaver and the Alchemist, so Illidan just armlet toggling away, they weren't able to get the kill on him. He's up to like 3,000 gold. Probably looking to see that Desolator come up for him for just more damage at this point. He's already pretty tanky, and he can hit very hard if he picks up a Desolator now.
Yeah, right now, of course, he is ahead of the Alchemist in terms of net worth. He is able to contribute a lot more in this stage of the game than an Alchemist is able to. So it's all about decision making and not power fighting through the lineup of virtus.pro. Oh, they get Illidan to the low ground with him. They should be able to get him this time. Nicely done with a Blink Lasso. They do have that ward up on the high ground, so they realized what was going on. And with the stun charged up by Strangby, no escape for Airman. So they do get some revenge in the end. There's a tower mid lane. Might actually go down very, very soon. There's 3 heroes of 4FC waiting around to take it down.
Yeah, so that's a really good pickup for them to get, and they should be able to just get this tower in the mid lane for free after it as well. They're trying to keep Tamer Wild off with the Weaver Swarm, just making sure that they don't get surprised, another deny on a tier 1 tower. And they force her back, get the free tower. So a good pickup for them on the Lifestealer. They get a little bit of map control out of it as well. And they slow down whatever his next big item was going to be. And he wastes only a couple seconds of Midas on cooldown. Didn't lose all that much gold, it looks like.
Yeah, and even with the towers being in favor of 4FC right now, they only managed to get the gold graph back into their court by a little bit, as the gold graphs on itself are very even. And once again, we have got an infest. This time, Airman is sitting inside Tamer Wild. Of course, there's no Vendetta for the next assassin. Only for another 8 seconds though, but Tamer Wild is gonna blink in, infest out, Strangby running for his life. This time, there's no sentry ward in time. Mystic Flare is still gonna be up on the support though. Boomski's Rubik goes down as Strangby lands a stun up on Airman. Can they chase him down? Illuminate's flying through, actually stunning himself with the Spike Carapace, and then Impale stolen by Boomski, and a lasso up on the Nexus, up on the Knights rather. They do get him down in the end, and that is a great pickup for 4FC. They only trade the support Rubik for the Lifestealer, and they might get more in return as well. Oh, Blomberg just getting blown up. Another 2-man Impale coming off from Boomski. Can they get more is the question. They need to run, they need to care. They are not running, and they are not caring. It is 4FC that is getting cleaned up as Tamer Wild takes home a triple kill, including the main carry, Alchemist, going down. He actually bought back as well, so a lot of gold invested in this fight with Strangby. Not getting it back either, and he has his Midas off cooldown, so he's not even using that right now.
Yeah, and I just foresee they chase too far. They feel like they're confident after the Nax goes down on in that fight, but he buys back, and they also just charge into Queen of Pain, who does enough burst damage to take them down one at a time. They get kind of separated because all their heroes run at different speeds. Alchemist, he's pretty fast with the Shadow Blade. Of course, Weaver has effectively haste with Shikuchi, and end up just feeding a bunch of kills back when they could have just accepted that they won a pretty decent fight.
Yeah, fully agree. That was overextension at its finest. One of the curses of Dota, one of the most tricky things, knowing when you are ahead and when you should be backing off, as we do have a gank set up right now. Tamer Wild jumping forward, maybe wants to go for Boomski, but the telekinesis is there. And Blink stolen by Boomski. Actually, it's the Scream that he steals. But Tamer Wild not able to get a kill there. As I guess, I mean, virtus.pro, they just won a pretty big fight, but they were not able to get anything in return for it, so no towers extra going down in favor of them. And Strangby, even though of course he bought back, he is still doing pretty okay in terms of gold. He is ahead of the Lifestealer once again.
Yeah, they're still pretty close to each other. The big thing with that fight, though, is that Weaver had like a 1,000 gold plus lead on Queen of Pain, and now Queen of Pain is past Weaver in terms of net worth. And so that's pretty helpful for this Queen of Pain. She's rushing the Scythe of Eyes. It's going to be a pretty big pickup unless we see Weaver grab a BKB, which is not altogether uncommon, but usually doesn't happen until much later in the game, and that leaves Weaver pretty vulnerable for a long time.
Yeah, Weaver needs those items to be able to stay ahead, and he really needs a Linken's in this game as well to just stop that silence from going through, because that's hurting him so much. One Ancient Seal and the burst damage from Queen of Pain, and he is dead. He is just not that survivable, and that Linken's could really help him be a bit more survivable, of course, as we have got Airman continuing to farm as well, of course, since his armlet. He hasn't picked up anything since, but 3,600 gold in his inventory, so pretty rich Lifestealer this is, as, well, we'll still have to see if he goes for that Desolator that you said he would probably get, as maybe he himself hasn't decided yet what he wants.
Yeah, he's getting close to the amount of money to just outright buy it if that's what he wants. He also has enough for Basher at this point. Could see him maybe going for AC if he picks up a Hyperstone in the near future. He has options. I'm actually looking at NS's skill build. I don't remember if I ever checked in his previous games, but he hasn't put in any points into Arcane Bolt at this point, actually choosing to max concussive shot over it, which is somewhat surprising since the slow doesn't actually increase. But that's what he's going for, so for people who looking at how to play support Skywrath Mage, maybe this is it.
Yeah, well, he has done this build actually. Oh, wait a second. Curly A lot of trouble. Impale will still hit. The open wounds were there as well, and just a Mystic Flare to clean it up. Kill secured by NS. Looking for another pickup. Boomski in some trouble. Telekinesis is going to be there very fast. Here comes Strangly as well. But he gets sprouted. Can he still throw out his stun? No, he cannot. And he'll go down. 5 heroes here still alive of Virtus.pro. And 2 supports here. And a solo mid-weaver left here to defend their tier 1 tower. But I don't think it's going to be that successful. I would even think, you know, run while you still can, as Rubik already not able to do so anymore. Weaver running for his life, he gets open wounds, and will be able to get away. And the Keeper of the Light, yeah, you know, Matrim, I think you're pretty dead. Double kill again for Tame My Wild, and the only one that got away alive from that one is the Weaver.
Yeah, and NS on this Skywrath and doing a fantastic job. That was basically Alchemist killing himself. He got hit by the Ancient Seal with about 2.5–3 seconds left on the Unstable Concoction before it blows up on himself, and he just stood there in trees watching as he was going to take additional damage and stunned himself from Unstable Concoction. So that spell really just not working out for him with this big silence coming out from NS. And he's been getting it on Weaver as well, setting up a lot of kills with the concussive shot as well. And finally gets a point in an ancient arcane bolt.
Yeah, in the meantime, Weaver gets a solo kill, but gets killed off. Well, I say solo kill. The lasso was actually used for that, I believe, to kill off the Lifestealer, but Airman was there as well. And 2 minutes faster Desolator than normal, despite his, well, wraparound item build, I would guess, with also going for the Midas, of course, is a very fast farming Lifestealer who just got himself a double kill, so has, even with buying that Desolator off the bat, still got 2,400 gold in his pocket, and, you know, he is doing extremely well. He is 2k gold ahead, almost, upon the Alchemist, while in theory, Alchemist should naturally, purely based on Grievel's Greed, be ahead on net worth. And right now he is not doing that, as we also have, of course, a lot of double kills and triple kills and all that stuff for Tame My Wild, who is 7-3-1, and who now, as first big item, picked herself up a Scythe of Vice.
The average build order is 2.71.
Probably
what order? I see.
Order, yeah.
So it averages between the second and third pickup for a Lifestealer, closer to the third. Alright, that's a weird way of describing it for me. So yeah, he's farming very well, and I think the bigger thing is that he is sitting at level 19, 24 minutes into the game. He has 700, almost 800 gold or experience per minute. He is very highly leveled on this Lifestealer, and that leaves him very tanky, doing a ton of damage now with this Desolator pickup, and it's going to be hard for 4FC to really do anything. They don't have a ton of lockdown. Like I was mentioning earlier, they only have really the lasso to try and keep him in place. We've seen mostly Alchemist, I think, stunning himself at this point in the game. That Ancient Seal just always feels like it's there for NS.
Oh, and Tame My Wild just using his Scythe of Vice for the first time to Hex Blumberg to secure the tier 1 tower kill. And that was the last tier 1 tower standing on the side of 4FC, who are gonna see their Keeper of the Light being killed off. Vendetta Blink being used for that, as Blumberg finds himself stunned up. Skywrath Mage in the meantime still going down, with also the Bed Rider getting exchanged for him. Rubik running for his life. Blumberg might try to help out, but Rubik will still go down. Fiendscript not doing anything anymore as Tame My Wild comes in with the kill, and all of a sudden, across the map, 3 people picked off for just a solo Skywrath Mage on the bottom lane going down on the side of Virtus.pro, and they get the tier 2 tower with that as well, so that's and a tier 1 mid and a tier 2 bottom getting picked up in quick succession of each other, and a lot of extra gold going away of Virtus.pro. And even if this game was like, maybe at minute 20 was very even in terms of gold, we even see slightly in favor of 4FC, it has dropped, it has plummeted to the 7,500 gold in favor of Virtus.pro. Same thing goes for the experience, even though it started already ahead of Virtus.pro for Virtus.pro, but now 15k in their favor.
Yeah, they're starting to take bigger and bigger fights, and they're not really losing as much as time is going on, and they're really just utilizing their heroes very effectively. KSI keeps porting in with his just obviously global teleport, and he's been bringing Lifestealer with him with the Infest. And we see Lifestealer with 26 minutes. He's got AC, Desolator, Midas, and Armlet. So he has a lot of farm, and is also pretty much next to impossible for this 4FC lineup to kill at this point. He has 27 armor at 27 minutes.
Yeah, a man fight right now with an Alchemist would result in that Lifestealer winning. And imagine if he would pick up a Basher next. I mean, then Strangby won't be able to do anything anymore at all. As for FC, they might not even let it get to that point where Airman would have enough gold for that, because they're pushing down mid. They've got that double damage rune. Everybody of 4FC is on the top lane, with Boomski being the furthest back, and right now 4 heroes next to that tier 1 tower top. They're gonna at least try to chase or exchange towers, but might not even be able to do that. Maybe Arstart can pick up someone. Oh, he finds Iconoclast. There's a Vendetta. Impaled too late though. And he reveals himself. Everybody TP's back middle because they know that their base is under attack. The fortification is already used. And the tier 3 tower is already down before a fight was even taken by 4FC.
Yeah, and they have 2 minutes left of Aegis up on Illidan, so he's just going to stand in the middle of the base and hit this barracks. Worst case scenario, they kill him, he rages immediately out of it. He probably doesn't want to lose the Aegis without forcing them to use the lasso, just for safety reasons. Yeah. But he's going to infest in Tame Wild now, and I expect this to probably be the last fight of the game.
Yeah, he's going to blink into Strangby. He's trying to run, the open woods is already there. Blomberg gets hexed. Trying to stay alive, he still has a time lapse, doesn't have to use it to get away though, but everybody being forced back. Airman getting now open wounded in return by the Rubik, still was able to take down the Rax, and there goes the Aegis most likely. Indeed, they are able to take that one home with still the lasso there, and they will try to go for that. There's the lasso, and this is 5 people bashing on that one lifestealer, and he looks to be able to just walk himself away from this. Flamebreak trying to help out, there we go, Creeps and Blomberg helping out, they at least get that kill. As virtus.pro wasn't able to help out, we have a long range stun coming in, and Blomberg not able to reach the kill. There we go, Strangby will clean it out. Looking for the next target, but the blink aways are there from virtus.pro, and I don't think they can catch up with anybody right now. So they will back off, need to defend, need to farm more. 4FC, they need to get their items up even more so and continue to defend their racks.
Yeah, and kind of a weird fight from VP. They let Illidan die in the base, and they know that they hadn't used Lasso yet, and they all backed off because they're kind of low on HP. When you do that, you pretty much are saying, well, Lifestealer, it was nice knowing you. We're going to let you try and fight 5v1, and that works pretty okay if they don't have Lasso up. Airman can at least kill a couple and eventually start surviving, but with Lasso, he just goes down really before he can do too much of anything.
Yeah, for a second there I thought he was going to be able to walk away, mostly also because I actually was expecting virtus.pro to maybe come in and help, because I felt like they are this far ahead that they can actually take those kind of fights even from behind, but they didn't even try. And I think most of the reason for that is that virtus.pro, even with getting so much farm, they don't have a mechanism up in their team. Otherwise they could have stuck around way longer on that mid lane and actually try to go maybe end the game, as there is actually a mechanism up on Iconoclast. So Matrim, the Keeper of Light, has got that one for his team, as we do now see a Basher, not on a Lifestealer though, but on the Alchemist, so he is able to try and go for a man fight up on Lifestealer now with that in his inventory.
Yeah, he can do his best to try and fight. The problem is that he's got a large HP pool. If he pops that Chemical Rage, and he needs the attack speed to really fight Alchemist or Lifestealer anyways. And with that large HP pool, the Lifestealer is going to heal up quite a bit when hitting him, so it's going to be kind of problematic unless he can get some sort of disable up on him. We'll see if his team is able to help him out and they can get a couple more kills on Airman before they lose too many more valuable buildings in their base.
Yeah, we see them maybe trying to bait out something top. Blomberg hanging around there. Here comes the Nature's Prophet. That's the one that they were waiting for, and he's infested though, so they have to be careful. But they are gonna go. They are gonna go. Here's the last two. Infest out though. Surprise! They want to go for Krilly. Krilly already dead. Blomberg gonna be next. Uses time lapse. There is dust use. There is still a Lifestealer on the side. Illidan not able to get anything anymore unless he gets Blomberg. No, he shouldn't be able to. He doesn't have his own vision there. So in the end, a 1 versus 1 trade as Iconoclast TPs himself out into safety. But that was not the trade that they were looking for. And in the meantime, on the bottom lane, virtus.pro tried to make something happen. Apparently not successful. We do have now a Dagon up on Arstart.
Yeah, he could have bought mech a long time ago, but why buy defensive items when you could buy aggressive items?
Yeah.
Blink Dagger Dagon build.
That's awesome. That's cool.
And NS, he is not really doing as well. He picked up drums at some point just to get some stats, but he's playing like the really hard support, which he does most of the time. They've kind of allowed Smile to sort of play a little bit more of a farming 4 position. He gets a lot more farm than the 4's average on a lot of teams. but it allows him to make bigger plays, and it was kind of how he worked on Navi as well.
Yeah, and it works out great. Of course, Arsard, mostly known, or at least for a lot of diehards, mostly known for his times of when he was crowned the King of Gankers, I believe, together with Vigos during his time with Virtus.pro. Whoa! That's a very fast Keeper of the Night going down with the Mystic Flare being used for that. But I mean, this kind of, like you said, it allowing him to get more farm. It also allows him to get more of that aggression back in his gameplay. Very enjoyable to watch, as we do now have Blumberg with the Lincolns. The question is it not too late? As we see Strangby, the carry, he's taking a lot of hits here, but I don't think he'll be able to survive. No wicked sick Tamar Wild who came in with the haste, and of course the Hex was there. There was another Hex also from KSI, so that's 2 Hexes and no BKB for that Alchemist. He is just under control of virtus.pro and he can't do anything. Blink in and fast out. Boomski! Burned to death. Very fast.
Yeah, and Tamar Wild has actually picked up an Ethereal Blade at this point. I was going to comment on it when she had a lot of gold. There's no actual item to up for that. No, there's fights going on still.
Well, you call it fight maybe as more of a slaughter, because there wasn't really that much hope for 4FC. Maybe they can do something now though, but Krilly already getting hexed up, getting attacked to death. Blumberg, same story, goes down as well. Lincoln is not really helping there, as Strangby, the last one alive for his team, goes down as well. And this is going to be another set of melee racks and probably more.
Yeah, they have a full minute until Alchemist is back up. He doesn't have buyback. They have about a minute until Weaver's up. And those are the 2 heroes they need to be able to fight. So yeah, 4C just going to call it. They're going to lose all of their... Not actually all of their lanes. They would just take an ancient because they had the tier 2 top to go through. But nothing they can do about it at this point. So, good game for VP.
Yeah, they take another 3 points in StarLadder Season 6. Of course, they've only dropped 1 map so far, so looking really solid to go to that LAN finals in Kiev. After this game, by the way, people, we are gonna see a game between Alliance and Empire. Empire not doing so good lately, but as a bit of a comfort to Empire, Alliance have also started dropping games as of since Sunday, basically. So maybe there is some hope for Empire yet, as they are gonna try their hands on this Western giant, Swedish giant, I can actually say. And yeah, well, we have got 4 more games to go for StarLadder tonight, so you don't need to go anywhere else, even though if you want to, you can, obviously. There is other Dota going on, but we are going to continue with StarLadder, not only Alliance versus Empire, but also Empire versus IC Cup, and then DD versus Power Rangers, and after that, DD versus KP. So stick around, more Dota 2 coming your way in just a moment. Ooh, before we have the last stats. 3rd highest of all times, behind 2 times Yamate Lifestealer. That is really high. And he did, of course, get a lot of farm there, also from towers, and not even that much from kills, when I look at that. 8 for 3 for 6. But oh well. Next game coming up, Alliance, Empire. Don't go anywhere.